honestly, man, I was just finna talk about that Charger game, man. And honestly, how our D line went crazy, man. Our D line was out there stopping the run. Joe Mixon didn't catch fire till late on, and for the most part, we was doing well. It was just us not converting right. And honestly, the Chargers. This is not the first time we went scoreless, right? It's a couple of games where we actually didn't score a touchdown. Herbert didn't even get in there, right? And it was more so just us having defense and scoring on defense because the Chargers did allow the least points throughout the whole season. The Chargers was the number one scoring defense in the season. So we showed that last night, right? Not even that. The Derwin interception take back was crazy. Dayon Henley
Crazy.
interception was crazy. It was a couple plays that, could have shifted momentum. And like Coach said, each plays a momentum, each touchdown's a momentum shifter. So, you know, having back-to-back three and outs and then getting three and outs and then we're turning them back over with interception and pick sixes don't help your situation either. And honestly, if you asked me and told me before the game started that Justin Herbert would throw four interceptions, I would think you would be crazy because this entire season, Justin Herbert only threw three. So for him to throw four more than he ever thrown in the season, this season it baffles me, man. It's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that shit crazy. That shit crazy. Like I can't believe it. But we gotta hold Justin Herbert accountable. You had the
It's like we
pieces,
hold these women accountable.
but also, man, like his receivers wasn't really catching much. Like only McConkey was catching it. Everybody else was dropping them and not even a factor. So we gotta consider that too. Who's he throwing it to? He's only throwing it to one person, a rookie that's out there proving himself to be a top 10 receiver. But we're asking for him to do a lot, man. If honestly, I gotta give credit to this too. It's a gift and a curse. Last couple seasons, the Chargers was not able to stop a run or hit a fly with a fly swatter. We wasn't able to do anything or stop anything, man. So for us to be able to come from a scoring team with the Keenan Allen and the Mike Williams, with the Ecklers and the Everetts and those type of guys, for us to not be able to play defense, but for us to swap that in 1 year and be able to play defense, but then struggle on offense, I'm more satisfied with that because essentially defense win championships, and we also became better than what we did. So the changes that we did make, continue to make them. And I always compared these teams to this concept. History repeats itself. John Harbaugh going to go back to what he knows. If you think about the teams he run with, Blake Corum, Frank Gore, Vernon Davis, you think about guys that run down hills and really does what he does. He took Colin Kaepernick, somebody who can't throw half the throws that Herbert can make, to the Super Bowl, into multiple championships, especially with that hard-nosed defense that we now have. And he's going to establish that hard-nosed offense that he once had at each program. So once I saw us choosing these running backs and these tight ends that block and do these type things, was not surprised because based off his success, that's how his teams are usually built. So going to this draft, I'm going to see this team slowly but surely become that Niners team that we once knew that had that dominant defense, and is going to run over that NFC West that he did for those 4 years that he was there. Within 4 years that he went there, he went to one Super Bowl with three NFC championships. First year with the Chargers, he took us to the first round of the playoffs. Next year, he's going to take us to the second round, maybe the championship. Third year, we're going to win it. All I'm trying to say, based off this draft, and honestly, we got people that's in that draft from that drafted Lamar Jackson, Cal Hamilton, all these guys that are stars and they're still in the playoffs and still making plays. He drafted those guys and made trades to where that team is that team. And he was also in the office, wasn't making trades, but he was in office when they was drafting Ray Lewis. He was in the staff room when they was drafting Avery, when they went to the Super Bowls. He got 2 Super Bowls with the Ravens, so he knows what to do. That's why I also know this hardball thing is real. Not only did he leave Michigan, but his brother said, you know what, you're going to bring your staff in Michigan, but also you gave me some of your players and coaches when you left to the college. Here's some of them back. And honestly, here's a couple players too.
Who he give him?
So, he gave us Greg. He gave us our GM, Joe Ortiz, and he gave us our offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. And on top of that, he gave us a lot of players: J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. He gave us Tony Jefferson, the safety that you got on Ultimate Team. He gave us he gave us a couple of players, bro, to where it's just like, you know what? He looked out for us. That's why I knew we owed him. We're not gonna beat him this year. Like, you done gave us so much, and you helped me. You know, gave me a boost to where, okay, let me get my feet wet in the league, right? Let me give me some dependable guys that woo woo, and that's what we did. We signed J.K. Dobbins, right? Other teams wasn't gonna sign him due to injuries. Why? We had the inside scoop, right? Because we had the players that were scouting and drafting, and we had his fucking brother. Because around that time, niggas didn't know where Harbaugh was gonna go. So around that time, you could expect Harbaugh was going to talk to his brother and give him pointers about the Ravens. Oh, you got Lamar Jackson over there. Woo, woo, I'm a college coach. And not even that. This is why I'm excited about the next 2 years for the Chargers, man. That's why I say 2 years within this. Harbaugh was in coaching Michigan for the last 10 to 8 years. That means he was recruiting. So that means he knows players along the lines of high school when they're going to develop for the next upcoming year. So he's going to draft. He's going to draft players that beat him in the playoffs, beat him in college that he couldn't even recruit. And now he's going to be able to recruit him and draft him. And we saw what he did this year. 3rd, 4th round pick, drafted Cam Hart, entire Houston, still great DBs, great starters in the league. Like, he's going to pick out players that he know is going to go crazy. Not only that, bro, we draft players that was 4-year starters. We draft players that's been captains and voted and have medals, like real life. Like, we don't just draft a player that been transferred here. Nah, we draft players that's, all right, you've been in this program for a long time. You know what work is. You know what discipline is. You know what consistency is, man. Regardless of the stage you're at, you did it. And we're going to keep doing it, man. And that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for these drafts. And honestly, these last couple of years, I wasn't. We was missing. We was missing every fucking year, bro. Every year we was missing. Now, we had a couple of years we was hitting. We hit Allen, we hit Gordon, we hit Bosa, right? And then we hit Derwin. We had a couple of years, but then we took a little break off. We started drafting fucking Jeffrey Tillery and Quentin Johnston and who else did we draft? That was fucking, I ain't gonna go that far, but Manti Te'o, you know. But yeah, man, I think I'm about to get up out of here after that, man. And
yeah, for sure after that.
Yeah, man, because the Chargers gonna do well, man. Like Harbaugh said yesterday, tomorrow the sun will come up and we're gonna attack it. And I'm pretty sure today they attacked it in that field room to see what happened, what went wrong. Pretty sure the players said bye, that wasn't gonna be there for the next season. I'm pretty sure these guys are already working for the guys that know they're gonna be there, like a Herbert, and they're gonna take a break and get back at it, because that was one of them. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing as fuck. And Herbert, like, I cannot defend you, my guy. You lost 2 of them to young bucks, young niggas. Fucking Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud. You let Trevor Lawrence come back and beat you, and then you didn't score a touchdown your goddamn self in the playoffs. You only scored 1 late round, nigga, empty points. Like, we got to fight harder than that, man. I'm a Charger fan. I'm with you. I'm rooting for you. I'm just saying, my guy, like, nigga, it is tough being a Charger fan. I compare this shit to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are delusional, but it's tough being a Cowboy fan, having that hope of seeing the roster on paper every year just to have the same result every year. And it's tough to rock out.
Bye.
You gotta rock out with a rock out, if you know what I'm talking about. You gotta rock out with it, man. So it's tough, man, but we here. We gonna always stay here, man. Shout out to the Boat Nation. Shout out to the Boat fam, man. Shout out to the Boat gang of Don't Bang, man. It's your boy RowloeEA.